What if the secret to walking with the power of a 40-year-old, well into your 80s, wasn't found in a pill, but in a daily ritual? It's about adding life to your years, the kind of vibrant, autonomous life where your legs carry you confidently wherever you wish to go. The startling reality is this. Nearly half of adults over 65 cannot stand from a chair without pushing with their arms. This isn't merely an inconvenience. It's the first domino in a cascade that leads to a loss of independence. The profound difference? A compelling body of evidence points to something more tangible, a curated philosophy of movement. It comes down to 6 specific, time-honored movements woven seamlessly into the fabric of everyday Japanese life, and modern science is now confirming these practices with astonishing data, translating centuries of intuitive wisdom into hard, empirical numbers. A pivotal study in the field of aging research tracked thousands of Japanese seniors for over a year and a half. The findings were not just promising, they were revolutionary. Those who consistently performed their traditional leg-strengthening routines more than doubled their lower body muscle power. They also slashed their risk of dangerous falls by a staggering 2/3. Consider the implication of that for a moment. We are not talking about a slight improvement or a marginal gain. This is a fundamental transformation of physical capacity, achieved not with advanced pharmaceuticals or surgical interventions, but with deliberate, practiced motion. Another investigation sought to understand the mobility gap between Eastern and Western elders. It revealed that these ancestral Japanese movements engage deep, stabilizing muscle fibers, the often neglected core muscles of the legs, in a way typical Western gym routines often miss. This isn't about building visible bulk or chasing arbitrary weights. It's about forging the hidden foundations of balance and functional strength, the intricate network of support that allows for graceful and powerful movement. And the most empowering part? You need zero equipment. Most take mere minutes. They are not grueling workouts to be endured, but mindful practices to be integrated. They are woven into the fabric of daily life, turning a moment waiting for the kettle to boil into an opportunity for strength. I'm about to guide you through all 6, building to the most transformative one. But the number one exercise is so potent, the data behind it is almost hard to believe. A clinical trial found that seniors who dedicated themselves to this single movement for just 2 months saw their thigh strength skyrocket by nearly 90%, and their balance scores leap over 70%. By the end, participants who began the study struggling to walk across a room were navigating stairs on their own. Japanese clinicians now consider it the cornerstone of rebuilding leg vitality, the first and most important prescription for reclaiming autonomy. Stick around to the very end, because I've saved the most powerful technique for last, and it could redefine your independence, your confidence, and your vision of what is possible in your later decades. But first, I want to hear from you. Right now, in the comments, tell me your age and what part of the world you're joining us from. We read every single one because this is a conversation, not a lecture. Your experience is part of this global story of aging well. Now, let's begin with the 6th exercise and work our way to the top, understanding not just the how, but the profound why behind each movement. Number 6, the supported heel lift. This is often called Kakato H in Japan. You'll observe elders doing this unconsciously while washing dishes at the sink, waiting for a bus at the curb, or talking with friends in the park. It's a subtle habit with a massive impact, a micro moment of maintenance for the body's foundational pillars. Why is this so critical after 60? Your calf muscles act as a circulatory powerhouse, a secondary heart for your lower extremities. With every contraction, they pump deoxygenated blood back up against gravity toward your heart and lungs. As they weaken, this critical pump becomes less efficient. Blood flow diminishes, pooling in the lower legs, starving your leg muscles of oxygen and nutrients, and creating a downward spiral of weakness, swelling, and fatigue. This isn't just about strong calves for aesthetics. It's about maintaining your body's internal infrastructure. A Tokyo-based study had one group of seniors add daily heel lifts for 3 months. while a control group maintained their usual activities. The results were clear and multidimensional. The intervention group saw a 1/3 increase in calf power, nearly 30% better ankle stability, and a 19% boost in their comfortable walking speed. In medical circles, walking pace is now seen as a key predictor of longevity, so much so that it's been called the 6th vital sign. A faster, more confident gait correlates with a longer, healthier lifespan. To do this the right way, stand facing a wall, hands lightly placed for support, feet are hip distance. Slowly rise onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as is comfortable, feeling the full stretch through your Achilles tendon and the contraction all along the back of your leg. Pause for 2 seconds at the peak. Then, with deliberate control, lower yourself down as if you're resisting the gentle pull of gravity. It's this controlled lowering, the eccentric phase, that builds the most strength and resilience in the muscle tissue. For optimal benefit, aim for 20 repetitions, 3 separate times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. It's only about 5 total minutes of focused effort, fragmented into moments you won't even miss. The morning set awakens the circulatory system after a night of stillness. The midday set counteracts the stiffness that comes from prolonged sitting. The evening set promotes circulation before rest. A pro tip from Osaka research: doing these on a slightly raised surface, like a stair step with your heels hanging off, increases the range of motion and muscle engagement by almost a quarter. Just ensure you have a firm grip on a railing or wall for safety. This isn't about strain, it's about stimulation. Think of it as daily oiling for the gears of your mobility. Number 5, the wide stance hip circle, derived from sumo preparatory drills and adapted for longevity. This movement is known as mawashi. It targets the crucial hinge of your body, the hips. Think of your hips as the central command center for all lower body motion, the grand central station where forces from the ground meet the stability of your torso. When they are unstable, tight, or weak, your entire kinetic chain compensates. Your knees twist, your back aches, and your balance becomes precarious. A comparative study found that adults practicing these traditional rotations developed over 40% greater hip stability and significantly stronger inner thighs in just 10 weeks, and reported less knee discomfort as a result. This makes perfect biomechanical sense. Strong, mobile hips offload stress from the more vulnerable knee joints. To practice, take a wide stance with your toes turned out slightly, embodying a stable, grounded posture. Place your hands on your thighs for feedback. Bend your knees slightly, and begin making slow, deliberate circles with your hips. Imagine gently tracing a large, smooth circle with your tailbone, as if you're stirring a vast pot of soup with your pelvis. The goal is not size, but smoothness and control. Do 10 circles in one direction, feeling the engagement in your inner thighs, outer glutes, and deep rotators, then reverse for 10. The Japanese emphasis is on mindful slowness, not speed or repetition count, Arta. It's about feeling the joint move through its full available range. Research suggests doing this in the morning can increase your hip mobility for the entire day, lubricating the joint and priming the muscles for action, making every step, every stair climb, and every bend to tie your shoe feel easier and more fluid. It's a declaration of intent for your body, saying we will move freely today. Number 4, the seated leg press, known as zashigi ashi. This has been a rehabilitation staple in Japan for generations. It directly targets your quadriceps, the mighty muscles on the front of your thighs that are the primary engines for standing up, climbing, and braking your descent when you walk downhill. They are your body's natural shock absorbers and launch pads. After 60, we can lose up to 5% of this critical strength each year if we don't actively challenge them. This atrophy is not an inevitable fate. It is a consequence of disuse. A 6-month trial at a major university split participants into 2 groups. The group performing seated leg presses 3 times a week saw quad strength jump by over 50%. Their functional ability transformed. Their ability to rise from a chair improved by 44%, and they climbed stairs 39% faster. These aren't just numbers on a chart. They translate to waiting for the bus without fear, visiting friends without worrying about their staircase, and keeping up with grandchildren in the park. To perform it, sit tall in a firm chair with your back supported, feet flat on the floor. Slowly extend one leg until it's straight out in front, parallel to the floor, focusing on squeezing the muscle on the top of your thigh. Hold briefly at the peak to maximize the tension, then lower with control, resisting the urge to let your foot drop. Start with 10 repetitions per leg, working toward 20 over a few weeks. When that becomes easy, consider adding light ankle weights. Science shows even a small weight of 1 or 2 pounds drastically increases the neural drive and muscle activation. Interestingly, studies indicate afternoon sessions for this exercise, when body temperature is higher and hormones are favorable, might yield slightly better strength gains. But consistency trumps perfect timing. The best time is the time you will do it reliably. Number 3, the assisted deep squat. Many are told to avoid squatting later in life, warned of knee strain and back injury. But the Japanese perspective, backed by data, is fundamentally different. In Japan, squatting is a natural part of daily living, a resting posture, a gardening position, a way to interact with low spaces. This consistent, sub-maximal practice maintains not just strength, but the priceless gifts of flexibility and mobility in the entire lower body chain, ankles, knees, hips, and spine. A landmark study compared elderly Japanese who squatted regularly with Westerners who avoided it. The Japanese group had dramatically stronger legs, better static and dynamic balance, and nearly double the hip flexibility. Their joints were healthier because they were used fully and regularly. The secret isn't forcing a heavy barbell squat. It's a supported, modified approach that respects your current range of motion. Stand with feet shoulder width, holding a sturdy counter, sink, or the back of a heavy chair. Push your hips back as if you are about to sit in a chair that's far behind you and bend your knees, lowering only as far as you can without pain and with full control. Your heels should stay flat. Pause for 3 seconds at your lowest comfortable point. This is where your body adapts to the stretch and the position. Then, press through your heels to stand, engaging your glutes. Start with just 5 reps, adding 1 more each week. Consistency is more important than depth. Daily shallow practice beats intense, infrequent deep squats because it trains your nervous system and tissues regularly. This movement reclaims a fundamental human pattern, telling its body it is still capable of rising from the earth. Number 2, the single leg stand. Hipponashi dachi looks deceptively simple, but is incredibly potent. Balancing on one leg is a complex neurological feat that activates a network of over 200 muscles from your foot arches to your core. More importantly, it forces your nervous system to recruit and coordinate these muscles with lightning speed and precision. This neural training, this improved communication between brain and body, can build functional, usable strength faster than weight training alone because it directly improves the skill of stability. A university study put balance training head-to-head with standard strength work for seniors. The balance group showed 47% greater improvement in tests of practical leg strength, like timed sits-to-stand and obstacle navigation. Even more critical, their calculated risk of falling plummeted by 73%. Falls are a primary threat to independence after 65, often leading to a cascade of fear, reduced activity, and further weakness. Preventing a fall is arguably the most impactful health intervention an older adult can undertake. To practice, stand near a countertop or wall for support, shift your weight fully onto one foot, and gently lift the other just an inch or two off the ground. Hold as long as you can with good posture. The goal is time under tension for your stability systems. Practice this multiple times a day for the duration of brushing your teeth while waiting for tea to steep during a commercial break. For a profound challenge that accelerates adaptation, try it with your eyes closed, always with support nearby. Research found this boosts muscle activation by over 50% because it removes visual crutches, forcing your proprioceptive system, your body's internal sense of position, to work overtime. This is how you build an eternal gyroscope. And now, the most vital exercise of all. Number 1, the sit-to-stand revolution. Tachi Sawari is the gold standard, the culmination of functional strength. Remember that earlier study? Here are the full results. Seniors with significant weakness, some using assistive devices, practiced this for 8 weeks. Their quad strength soared 89%, hamstring strength 76%, and tested balance improved by 71%. Most remarkably, individuals who needed walkers at the start were walking independently by the end. This was not a medical miracle in the traditional sense. It was a movement miracle. Why is it so effective? It is the fundamental movement pattern of human independence, rising to meet the world. It's a full body weight lift with a built-in safety net, the chair. This security allows you to exert maximum honest effort safely, pushing your limits without fear of being stranded. It engages not just the major prime movers, but the deep stabilizers around the hips, knees, and core that are crucial for real-world movement outside the gym. To do it correctly, sit in an armless firm chair of standard height. Cross your arms over your chest to eliminate any hand push. Plant your feet firmly, hip-width apart. Lean forward slightly from the hips, not the waist, and in one smooth motion, push through your entire foot, heels, balls, toes, to stand up tall. Pause briefly at the top, standing fully. Then, initiate the descent with your hips pushing back, and lower yourself back down with slow, absolute control. This negative phase is where significant strength is built, and control is mastered. Begin with 10 slow reps, taking 3 seconds up and 3 seconds down, twice daily. Each week, add 2 more reps until you reach 30. Once 30 is easy, you can progress by using a lower chair, holding light weights, or slowing the tempo further. Research shows performing this first thing in the morning can establish stronger, more confident movement patterns that carry through your entire day. It sets a tone of capability. There you have it. 6 generations-old practices, now validated by rigorous science, that can help you preserve and dramatically rebuild leg strength. This is a holistic philosophy, not a random workout. It addresses circulation, joint mobility, raw muscle power, foundational stability, and the ultimate functional task. Your future self will feel the difference with every confident step you take, every staircase you ascend without a second thought, every time you rise to greet a new day or a loved one with power and grace. I'm genuinely curious. Which of these 6 are you most eager to try first? What feels like the biggest key to unlocking your next level of freedom? If you're already doing any, comment below and tell us how long it took for you to notice a real change in how you move through your world. Now, we love your perspective. Have you or someone close to you faced challenges with mobility or balance later in life? What strategies, mindsets, or small victories have made the biggest impact? Share your stories below. We learned so much from this collective wisdom. If this video brought you value for a new perspective on what's possible, please give it a like. It truly helps the Winds of Thought channel reach others who need this knowledge. Thank you for watching and for investing in your own powerful journey.